Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 14, Chapter 33. The Next Step. Whatever originates does degenerate. All things seen as objects lose their identity in the bottomless pool of time. Man, however, wanders about in the objective world presented before him as form and name, seeking to extract therefrom permanent peace and unalloyed bliss. He is engaged in fallow pursuits and nefarious tactics which fail to provide him the key to the absolute and the eternal. Does the key exist in the outer world or in the inner? So long as man embroils himself in the seen, he cannot see the seer. So long as your attention is caught by the flowers in this garland, you cannot cognize the string that holds them together. Inquiry is essential to discover the base which upholds the garland. So too, inquiry alone can bring into human experience the Atmic divine base which upholds the objective sensory world. The world can confer at best only momentary joy. Happiness, prosperity, and power are but flashes amidst the dark clouds of misery, poverty, and defeat. Kith and kin of whom we are proud and in whom we lay our trust succumb to death and depart without a word of farewell. But we do not learn the lesson. We cling to the belief that the outer world is the treasure chest of peace and joy. There are only two roads before man. In all temples where idols of Shiva are installed, we find Nandi, and in temples of Vishnu, we find Garuda idols. They too appear intent on adoration only and awaiting with unwinking eyes the orders of their masters. Their vision is one-pointed, their goal is eternal bliss. Their steadfast strength is revered, but the path that turns towards mammon, that is, the pursuit of wealth and worldly gain, can lead only to rebuke. There are only two roads before man, the road to God and the road to mammon. Few are those who choose the first and reach the goal that lies within, where the Atma shines in supreme glory. The multitudes, however, wander along the wilderness of the other path. There, the beast in man asserts itself and suppresses the excellences with which he is endowed. Almost always, man is anxious to ignore the faults and failings of the objects that draw his attention. If he only recognizes these, he is certain to evaluate them correctly and behave more intelligently. When man becomes aware that the cobra is a poisonous snake and that the leopard is a cruel beast, he avoids them with constant vigilance. Similarly, when we become aware of the transitoriness and triviality of worldly triumphs and possessions, we can easily detach ourselves from them and concentrate on inner wealth and inner vision. All things in the outer world of objects are subject to change. Impermanent objects can confer only impermanent joy. How can it ever be otherwise? Only the spring of bliss can confer bliss. A fitful spring, a drying, decaying spring, can give happiness only in fits, and even that will, before long, decay and dry. The Atmic energy motivates every being. Atma alone is the ever full and ever fresh spring of bliss. The Atma is the motivator of the physical machine known as the body. It can be inferred only through the performance of the machine. The Atmic energy motivates every being in the universe: man, animal, bird, worm, tree, and grass. Once man contacts it, he is blessed with universal vision, absolute delight, and eternal wisdom. Everyone has the thirst to realize it and be with it, but only very few take steps to reach it. Thousands proclaim the glory of the Atma, but only a handful strive to attain it. Shukracharya, the sage who was the preceptor of Emperor Bali, is described in the Bhagavata as a great exponent of the doctrine of charity. He could expatiate on the merit that can be acquired by gifts offered to pious persons and to the needy. But when Bali was offering a gift to God, himself in the role of Vamana, a young Brahmin student, he advised the emperor to desist. His actions belied his words. Profession is one eye, and practice the second. Therefore, according to the story, when Shukracharya attempted to prevent the gift, he became blind in one eye. Those who hold forth ideals in profuse eloquence must demonstrate the value of those ideals in their daily lives. Otherwise, they become like Shukracharya, who can only speak. They have no honest faith in their own words. Since devotees stop halfway and start extolling the Guru and his teachings rather than experiencing their value and validity, the Atma and the infinite bliss it can confer remain undiscovered by aspirants. The Atma cannot be grasped through metaphors and examples. No form can contain it. No name can denote it. How can the limited comprehend the unlimited? The now measure the ever, the wavered understand the stable. The Kathopanishads described how God Yama parried the steady stream of questions which the boy Nachiketas asked him in right earnest about the Atma. Yama tried his best to cool his ardor by promising to confer on him boons regarding wealth, power, and long life. But Nachiketa spurned these trinkets. He replied, "All-powerful Yama, I know that the senses, which are eager to earn these gifts you offer, are polluted by them and are destroyed pretty soon by their contact. I am not seeking from you these evanescent joys. Tell me of the eternal and the true, the Atma." On hearing this, Yama said, "Son, you yearn for wisdom. You are not attached to wealth. Well, I shall fulfill your request. Learn to visualize the motivator, the Atma." Emperor Janaka too on one occasion told himself, "My great-grandfathers, grandfathers and fathers commanded vast wealth and spent their lives in unstinted luxury, but they have all become the dust out of which they had emerged. Man cannot escape this fate. Then why should he hanker after these petty pleasures? Let me use this life, this physical machine, for realizing the ultimate goal, the basic truth, the fundamental Atma." Consequent on this firm resolution, Janaka was able to succeed in the arena of spiritual endeavor. The poet sings, "Janaka had God ever in his thoughts, even while engaged in discharging his daily duties as an emperor. And by Raja Yoga, royal path of divine communion, he attained the supreme stage, liberation from bondage to the individual self. The body is but an instrument to discover the indweller. Withdraw from the outer to the inner and learn to visualize the motivator, the Atma. That is the lesson which the seers and scriptures teach. To engage ourselves in the purificatory exercises, to pursue the inquiry into the reality of God, nature, and man, and to experience the ecstatic delight of that discovery. The body is very necessary. It has got to be kept healthy and alert, free from passion and sloth, balanced and expectant of victory. Each cell in the body is motivated by Atma. Of course, the Atma is everywhere at all times. It is like milk and its color. It is white everywhere at all times, under all conditions. As milk or as butter, cream or ghee. So too the Atma persists unchanged, however many changes the thing motivated by it might undergo. The Atma contacts the senses of perception and affects the mind. It awakens the intellect to discriminate and decide upon the lines of action. The Atma activates the instruments of thought, speech and action, of expression and communication. The eyes see, but which is the force that prompts them? You may have ears, but who endows them with the power of hearing? Words emanate from the mouth, but which is it that urges us and frames the manner and content of the speech? That force acts like the cells in a torch which provide the bulb with the current to illuminate it. Doctors know that the body consists of cells, billions of them, alive and alert, busy and active. Each cell is motivated by the Atma. It is immanent all over. The Atma is in each of them as well as in every spot of space. When we realize it as such, it is experienced as effulgent, total, splendorous light, endless, incomparable, unique light. Do not degrade your lives in low pursuits. The ancient seers ignored the world as irrelevant and immersed themselves in inner inquiry until they contacted the universal Atma and filled themselves with Ananda. They had to limit desires, control their cravings, and live in the conviction that the destiny of man is to divest himself of the animal heritage and to sublimate his innate humanity into divinity. Consider for a while the fate of all the rulers of all the realms, the leaders of armies and nations, the presidents and prime ministers. Emerging from oblivion and merging in the same, did any one of these carry with them when they passed away any portion of their wealth or possession? When one dies, another takes his place. When he dies, still another is ready to assume the role. And all are equally forgotten, except those who have heroically realized the Atma and raised themselves to the divine state. So believe that the struggle for status, for power, of fame, and for wealth is not commendable at all. Having been blessed by this chance to live as human beings, have as the ideal the realization of reality. The Upanishads exhort you to march on to this goal. They address you as Amritasya Putra, children of immortality. Try to deserve that honor, to achieve that height. Learn to use your skills, all your intelligence, all your time for attaining that victory. You are gods in human form, for only gods can be immortal. You are embodiments of the divine Atma. Do not degrade your lives in low pursuits. Spend it in sacred thoughts, loving service, selfless acts, and sweet words of solace. Prashanti Nilayam, September 25th, 1979. A thing must have both form and substance in order to be genuine. An apple made out of plastic, however realistic and enticing by its correctness of form, cannot be valued as genuine, for it has no substance. The Swarupa, form, must be saturated with the Swabhava, its own quality, too. Fire is no genuine fire if it does not burn, nor can water be called so if it does not wet. It is a misnomer to name a person as man if he does not evince the qualities of humanity. Such persons are cheats, for by their appearance they induce others to believe that they are good, kind, honest, and harmless. They draw others into their company and inflict untold injury by their very nature. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.